Hey everyone, this is the Care Team Coordinator training. For all those of you who couldn't make it in person, we were hoping to get the information out to you just real quickly and succinctly. And but if you have any questions, do not hesitate to contact us. And we'd love to answer your questions. First of all, I just want to let you know that I'm so grateful. We are so grateful that you're willing to take on this role as God leads. As the foster care ministry grows and we're able to do some really amazing things like the foster care kit drives and Christmas presents and just some really cool things, it just makes it so Becca and I can't coordinate all of the teams, and we really need you to keep up those relationships with the foster family and really be relational in a way that we're not able to do when we're coordinating 15 teams. So we're so thankful for you, and you are an answer to prayer. But we really want to equip you as best as we can to take over these teams, and so that's what this training is for. Let me start here with our PowerPoint that we shared at that meeting. So first of all, the first thing every team does is a meet and greet, and it doesn't always happen before we're able to start meals because foster care moves fast and we really just want to get those meals going to get help to the foster family. But as soon as possible, we like to coordinate a meet and greet. Some of you have already had that done for your teams and some may be coordinating it. Ideally, we have it at the foster home. It just helps for the team to be able to see their house, meet the kids in their own home environment, and just kind of see what the foster family's home is like. But that's up to the foster family, and if they're not comfortable with that, then that is totally fine. Then next we go to your life group. If your care team was formed out of a life group, then you can just invite the foster family to one of your life group nights at home, at whoever's home hosts the life group, and do dinner with them, and that works well. And then if you're not formed out of a life group either, you can just ask your team members if any of them want to host. And then as a last step, we can do at a restaurant or a park. It's really flexible. It's just a really casual time for the team to get to know the family and vice versa. As for food, it just depends on what time of day you generally do it. If it's a meal time, you can do a meal and everyone, like you can do a taco night and just give a list and have people sign up for toppings, meat, dessert, drinks, etc. Or you can just do dessert and drinks and make it really simple. But the main thing is the foster family shouldn't have to bring anything to that meet and greet. And then as for the activity, like I said, it's really just casual. You can walk around and help people figure out care calendar throughout that. We usually have the foster family just talk a little bit about how they came into fostering, about their specific placement, the kids that are with them currently, and just a little bit about themselves. And then we also have the coordinator give out a Jesus Storybook Bible and then a book from the Who Loves series, one for each of the children in the home, which is kind of neat. So that's meet and greet. It's short, it's simple, but it really does help just meet face to face before you're showing up at their house with a meal, so they know who you are. Then the other role that you step into is really for prayer requests. And we have a form that was attached to your email, and it's over there on the right side of the screen there for kind of the questions that you should be asking regularly. How are the meals going? Anything you did or didn't like? This is how you get information for the calendar. So are they going to be out of town and not need meals or have family visiting? Are there specific date nights that would work well for date night for the following month? Just real basic scheduling kind of stuff. And then prayer updates, which is kind of key, kind of an important part. So how's court going? About how's the biological family, anything about biological family, meaning the foster parents' biological kids, health, behavior, foster kids, like how are they doing? A lot of times foster moms can get kind of isolated and foster dads, and they kind of just want to talk, and it's nice to get asked, how are you doing? How are you feeling? How are you handling the ups and downs, this emotional roller coaster called fostering? And you can do that through a scheduled phone call. You can do that through regular texts if the foster mom's better at texting. Or sometimes life is just super busy for some of these foster families, and one in particular that I'm thinking of, it just, she would say, I'm so sorry I haven't gotten back to you, I intended to, but she would have like 7 appointments in one day for these kiddos. So really when I brought the meal once a month, she would talk to me for like an hour. So sometimes just bringing a meal or babysitting, you can get a better update than a scheduled phone call for a busy family. But then once you get the information, you send it out to your team. You can send it out in a group email, you can send it out in a group text. Generally, when I send out emails, I follow it up with a text just because not everyone's great at checking emails and kind of can get updated with like hundreds of emails a day. Either way, when you send out an email or a text, please include us for just those prayer updates. And you can include us at fostercare@warrenbaptist.org in any email, or 762-441-0450. That's our foster care ministry number, in any text with prayer updates on there. And then in text, just as a last reminder, sometimes it's really helpful to just include your link to your care calendar and the security code when you send out updates, because it's just a good way, as you send out your prayer request update, to remind them to sign up for meals. Let me see. Next is care calendar. So this is where the main part of your role comes in, is just maintaining care calendar. It's not a difficult website, it's pretty simple, but it's just for coordinating all of the meals and the babysitting. So let me pull up here care calendar so you can see that. When you log into your care calendar, if you've been doing meals before, your login is going to be different because now it's a coordinator login that can do a lot more than the helper logins. So whatever your typical calendar ID would have been, you just add a C, and then you'll have a different code. And on your roster, underneath the foster families information, will have your calendar ID and your code that's specific to you as the coordinator on there. I just write it down somewhere. And I also, just as a little tip, I like to add the calendar to my home screen on my phone and just have title the little icon with your security code, so you know how to log in. But don't forget to put that C after the calendar ID, or it won't let you log in as a coordinator. Then you just click log in. So this is the O'Neills, and they're a Warren foster family, which is awesome. But I just kind of wanted to show you, for those of you who may not have been familiar with care calendar yet, anything in blue is informational, meaning you can't sign up for it. It's just information, so you can put court dates on there, out of town, really anything informational that's specific to a date. And then red here are your needs. So I'll show you in a different month, there'll be a lot of reds. And then green is when someone has signed up for a need. So let's show you how all the information up here too. So if you click up on top under recipient, that gives you all of the foster families information up here. Child care preferences, meal preferences, their address, phone number, all that good stuff. And a lot of times when people ask questions, you can direct them to that recipient tab for that information. Right next to there at the top is the coordinator tab, and that should be your information. I should hopefully have gotten that updated before I sent this video out to you, so that should have your name, phone number, and email there. And that's so your team members have questions, your information is, or the foster family, your information is handy there for them to reach out to you. News, sometimes the foster family will update in there. We give them the option to do that, so keep a lookout for that. The foster family can just put in prayer updates or information in there. Map up here is kind of a cool feature. So you can type in your address here and then hit go, and it will give you directions to the foster family on Google Maps. So that's kind of neat. And then it'll have specific like directions here, like they're in a gated community, so it would tell you what to do for that, just any specific things with getting to their home. I'll show you how to add and delete needs. So all of your calendars should be populated with ongoing needs, but if at any point you want to change, like now they don't want Mondays, but they want Tuesdays. Let's see. So I'll click on here, and you can hit, if there's something on there already, you can hit delete need here up at the top, and that should delete it then. And then if you want to add a need, it's just the green arrow up on the top. You hit add need, and then you could put like dinner option. And then for type, you would put meal. I don't put any of this other information in. You can either hit do not repeat this need here, and that'll just put it on that one day, or you can say repeat this need until the end of the year every whatever day I clicked on, so like every Monday, and it'll populate up in the calendar every Monday. And then just hit save, and that should have added to the calendar then. It added dinner options on Mondays from here until the end of December. That's deleting and adding needs. For information, you'd hit add need as well. You'd just put like out of town for the title, and then hit information only up here at the top. So then no one will be able to sign up for it. So it showed up as out of town in blue. I think over here has that same information, recipient updates. The foster family can add photos, and it's pretty similar in your phone too. It might have a little bit different location on the screen, but all that information is still there on your phone as well. I think that's good for Care Calendar for now, but please let us know if you have any questions. Just to know, once your email is in there, then when people sign up and things, you will get an email when people sign up for needs. So we have multiple options on every week for some calendars. So there'll be like Monday, Wednesday, Fridays options to sign up for a meal. Once one of those is signed up for, the rest aren't needed. So you can go in and delete the other two on a week, but you don't have to. It just makes the calendar look a little cleaner. And then basically it's just monitoring Care Calendar, making sure people are signing up. It's just easy as life goes on to kind of forget about it. So just sending out those reminders. Sometimes it's easy to send out just a screenshot of the calendar so they remember to go log in. As far as managing your team, that's basically just keeping us informed. So letting us know if someone's having a baby and they're not going to be able to help, or they moved, or they're not able to do it for whatever reasons. Just let us know and we can replace that team member for you. Or for whatever reason, if you just need additional team members, like you need another babysitter or another meal provider, you let us know about that. And then just let us know if there's any problems with team members. If you have someone that's consistently not signing up, that's not on you, and you can definitely encourage them to sign up. But if it's more comfortable, just let us know, and we have no problem reaching out to people and encouraging them to sign up and see if they're still interested in being on the team, or if they wanted to not be on the team anymore and we can replace them with another person. And then for team management, it's just answering any questions that they have. And if there's anything they ask you and you don't know, feel free to ask us anything, any time of day. Send us a text, give us a call, or email us. But yeah, just keep us in the loop. Troubleshooting. So if members aren't signing up, you can send a text reminder with the login info. Like I said, just the link with the security code. But one thing we found that's been really, really helpful is assigning weeks. So here's an example over here of a calendar where we've assigned weeks, and you can just add that need information only with their name on that Sunday. And that just means that's their week to sign up, and you can still have all of the options there. But that would mean here Abigail can sign up for the 13th, 14th, or 17th that week. And then once someone signs up, again, we deleted all the other needs. But sometimes it's helpful. And then if someone can't do their week, they can trade within each other. We email out their roster, and so that has everyone's contact information on there, so they should be able to trade with each other. But if there's a week, like you assign the second week of every month to Sally, but Sally can't do the second week consistently, then you can switch that. But it's just a really simple way so people can remember, oh, I have the first week of every month, and it's easier to keep that in mind and go in and sign up. Another thing that Becca does sometimes, when she puts their name here on the beginning of the week, she'll put her phone number there with it, so all they have to do is look at the calendar and say, oh, I can't do this week, but I'm going to call the person who has the first week. There's their name and number, and we can do a trade. That just makes it easier on you because you don't have to be the middleman then. And then you can offer dates too and put it on the calendar for them. So if sometimes logging into Care Calendar might be a barrier for people, you can just text them and say, hey, you're the second week. Which date works best for you, the 13th, 14th, or 17th, and then I can go ahead and put you on the calendar. And then if you put their email in there from the roster, they'll get an email reminding them to bring the meal that week. It's for date nights. So date nights work similarly in that you just put date night options on the calendar after talking to the foster family. I usually do that a month at a time, so when you're talking to them, you say June 11th and 25th work best for a date night, and I just add those date night options onto the calendar and text the babysitters from your team and just say, hey, I added the date night options in there. Please go ahead and sign up. And when I actually I'm going to show you that. When you add that need in there for a date night option, just put date night option for babysitters to sign up. You put child care. And then under extra details, I put the foster mom's name in here and their phone number, so that when the person goes to sign up and just say, please contact for time and other details or something like that, for specific details. So that, again, it's just eliminating you as the middle person. So when the babysitter signs up for that need, they'll call or text to the foster parents and figure out between their two schedules what time of day works best and any other details for where or how that child care is going to occur. If your foster family isn't responding, like I said, that happens. They're busy. And so trying another method of communication for some of our older foster parents, texting and emailing doesn't work as well as just a phone call. And then for some other foster parents, they'll only respond by text. So another option is just try another method of communication. And then you might not get as many updates as you like especially because we're stepping into a time in their lives. It's crazy. They're trying to get all the doctor's appointments and the therapy appointments and the speech therapy and occupational therapy and so many things going on, and they're trying to parent a new child, and that sometimes you're just not going to get the updates that you'd like, so you just get what updates you can and fill in your team, because the main thing is that they just have information so they can be praying for the foster family. Next, one other thing we just want you to be aware of is our Better Together foster care closet. It's amazing. It's run by Jen Jerkins, and she has a storage unit with all of the baby items and books and clothing. So we just want you to know about it, that we take new or slightly used clothing, diapers, wipes, children's items, things like that. Jenny's contact information is right there on the screen. And she's the one to get in contact with if you want to donate anything, or if anyone on your team wants to donate things. It's something you can tell your foster families about. They can join the Facebook group. Better Together Foster Care Ministry has a Facebook group with all of our information on there, but then the closet has its own Facebook group called Better Together Foster Care Closet, and your foster families can join that, and all of the items are pictured on there, and they can comment on the pictures, and Jen will get in contact with them and get the items out to them, which is really cool. So one thing that we do, that Jen does sometimes, is she'll look on our calendars and say, hey, John is bringing a meal on Tuesday this week. I'm going to get this formula to him at church so he can bring this formula to the family when he brings the meal. So it's just a way, again, of that your team providing for your family and continuing that connection. If there is a need that the foster family has too, that they either don't join Facebook, or they have a specific need of something that's not on the closet, let Jenny know, and she will make a post and we'll get it out on our pages, and generally within 24 hours we get donated whatever that need may be, whether it's 6-month boy clothing or a bike helmet or whatever it may be. So definitely let Jenny know if there's things that the foster family may need, or let us know and we can forward that on to Jenny. Just a neat thing that's growing, that just started in the last year. Foster family changes. So this ministry is flexible, and not all of our calendars look the same, because some of our families were going to food banks and needed 2 meals a week instead of 1, and some of our families needed 2 date nights because they have 5 kids 6 and under. It just depends, and none of the families are the same. So we're flexible. If you feel like there are changes that need to happen, let us know, and we can do that. But definitely let us know when like a placement leaves. A placement, like they had a sibling group with them of 2, and that sibling group is now either back with their biological parents or has been adopted out or whatever. Let us know, and then we will close the calendar and talk to the foster family and see where they're headed. If they're going to keep fostering and they're just taking a short break, then we just keep your team with that foster family, and we wait till they get their next placement to start a new calendar, and we'll do all that. We'll do the new calendar and the new roster and all of those kinds of things. But if they're going to take a long break, like 6 months or more, then generally we like to take your team, and as we prayerfully go through that process, we like to switch them to another family, because we do have a wait list of foster families for care teams. So again, we'd create a new calendar, new roster, at that point a new meet and greet, and but we do all that on our end. So basically, we just want you all to keep us informed, keep us in the loop as placements change, because sometimes a placement can last 2 weeks, and sometimes it can last 2 years. So just keep us in the loop. If the family's headed towards adoption, we just really prayerfully transfer the team. So sometimes they stay the whole time all the way through the adoption, and that's amazing. But sometimes they get into a really stable place where it's not the chaos of a new placement and they're doing fine and they don't need as much support. And so we can transfer the team to another family as that happens. It's just, we don't have any set rules for that. It just really depends on the needs of the foster family and your team. So just keep us updated. And that's part of why we like to be included on those prayer updates, so we can be praying about those kinds of decisions. Babysitters. So babysitters can babysit a specific placement 3 times before their background check is complete. So just keep an eye on that, and before they get to their 3rd time babysitting, just let us know. Right now, if they're with Bethany, it's a private agency. They have their own background check, and we would let you know that. But if they're not, if they're with DFACS, then we just make sure they're Safe Haven approved through Warren. It's the same Safe Haven application that we use for all of our child care people on Sunday mornings, and BBS and all of that. And so we look into that. We make sure that they've got their background check and send out those applications and stuff. But we again need that information from you to make sure that's happened before they've babysat for 3 times. So that's mainly care teams. The other things, we just wanted you to know what's going on, other things with the ministry as you become kind of a leader. Really, you're a leader in this ministry. We wanted you to know other things that are happening. So as people ask you questions, you can know. We're in Grovetown with their VBS last year. And now again, this year is doing a diaper drive for foster kids in the CSRA for our ministry, which is amazing. Last year we got 9,000 diapers. It was a really cool story. And then this year they're doing it again in June. We did the Columbia County, Richmond County DFACS Social Worker Appreciation Luncheon, which was just a really eye-opening experience. They are in a building that is an old abandoned middle school. A lot of them are previous foster children or single moms, and they kind of get a lot of slack from every end. So the foster parents aren't always nice because they never get any information from them, they never hear from them, and then the biological family is not nice because the social worker becomes the enemy. It's a really hard job with a lot of trauma, and so we just want to be that light, always just showing Christ, and it created some unique opportunities for them to kind of tell us what their needs are, which led to the Duffel Kit Drive, which is happening in May and June, starting next Sunday, and we're really excited about that, the Foster Kit Drive. They were telling us about foster kids that they pulled like a 2-year-old girl out of an infant car seat, like little baby infant car seat, and as they pulled her out, roaches went everywhere. So they really just need like those cleanliness supplies to wash the kids up, get them in a new set of clothing, comb their hair, and like get them ready to go to their foster home. And a lot of times they just don't have those things. They're like running to Family Dollar to get a sippy cup or a toothbrush. So our goal is to get enough of those kits that are kind of like shoebox, like the Christmas shoe boxes, but for foster children, with a specific list to DFACS, so they have those things for the kids, and then it's in a duffel that they can then, as they move from foster home to foster home, or from foster homes to group homes, as they move around, they have something to put their clothing in, because we've all heard a lot of times foster kids have their clothing in garbage bags, and so at least that duffel will be able to stay with them. And that's something we as a ministry are purchasing and then adding the items bought by everyone into those duffels. I hope that made sense. Join our Facebook group and go ahead and look look at that and it'll make more sense, and in the coming weeks it'll make more sense. But that's another thing going on. Then we do turkeys for Thanksgiving that we deliver to all our foster families, and we'll be letting you know because we have care team members that deliver those turkeys for Thanksgiving. And the same as Christmas gifts, we make sure all of our foster families are either sponsored by another organization or one of our life groups at Warren to buy Christmas gifts for them, which is just a really cool thing to be a part of. And finally, we're working on some foster care support. So we're working on a 12-week foster and adoptive parent Bible study in the fall at Warren Augusta for parents to get some tools and a support group as they go through their fostering journey. So I hope all of that made sense. I went through a lot of material in a very short amount of time, but please, please, please ask questions if anything doesn't make sense to you. And Becca and I are here anytime, any day to help you. We're not leaving you on your own to do this, but we're excited to have you be able to, like we said, take over that relational part of being in regular contact with the foster family and getting those regular prayer updates and getting to know your team. And it is about relationship. It's about our family loving on their families, and with that closer relationship that you're going to be able to have, that's going to shine through even more. Oh yeah, okay. So that is everything that I have for you for training. Make sure you look at those documents that are attached to your email. It should have your roster, which has all of the contact information for your foster family, for your care calendar, and for your team members. And then it should have that form on there that's all about what kind of questions you want to be asking as you are getting those regular prayer updates and schedule updates from your foster family. And then it should also have a copy of that presentation that I just quickly went through, so you can look that over. But our contact information is on that email. And please let us know if you have any questions, and know that we are incredibly grateful for how much you are going to be able to add to this ministry, and how God is going to be able to use you greatly to serve these foster families and these foster kiddos. Thanks.